Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to take a closer look at Advanced Micro Devices, ticker AMD. There's been a lot of great updates in the past week or so, from a big win for their MI300X, some great announcements on the AI market, on supercomputers, and so much more. So let's take a closer look in today's episode. So first, like always, let's start off with just a quick price action. AMD, as I am recording, is before the market opens, is sitting at roughly $120 or so. Year to date, the stock has done amazing, up over 87%. This is a company, this is actually my number two semiconductor position, is actually my number two position in my overall portfolio. And I do like AMD. I don't know if I like it at $120 though. I do believe I'm still bullish in the company, right? I do believe, though, this is a company I enjoy at below that $100 price point. That's something that we've talked about a lot in this channel. When it was sitting below 100, that's when I really enjoyed the opportunity that AMD brings to us. So before we go any further, guys, let me know in the comments, what do you guys think of AMD right now at $120? Do you think it's still okay value? Are you buying at these levels, or are you waiting off?
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
All right, so let's start off with this first news, where AMD brings new AI and compute capabilities to Microsoft customers. And this came out on November 15th of 2023. I have done a deep dive on kind of the event and what investors should know about there. But Microsoft did have an event where they showcased a lot of cloud computation solutions. AMD made the news a lot. We're going to hear about their MI300x accelerator, about the AMD EPYC CPUs, and about the AMD Ryzen CPUs with AI engines. So I do believe the first and the biggest news, in my opinion, this is why I do believe it's going to be very bullish for AMD as we continue to probably get more cloud server providers. But Microsoft is going to have their new NVDA MI300x V5 virtual machines optimized for AI workloads, featuring the AMD Instinct MI300X. They do mention that Microsoft is the first cloud to use the new accelerators. I do believe we are going to continue to hear other cloud server providers mention the same thing, because usually they follow suit. What I do want to kind of talk about is this MI300 XV5 virtual machine. And this virtual 5 machines, I do believe, allows a user to have up to 8 GPUs, and that's very important to know. So I want to see, hey, what is the difference between this and what maybe Nvidia offers? So Nvidia actually has, Microsoft and Nvidia have something like this as well, where you can kind of rent out a small subsection of GPUs, somewhere between 1 to 2, I think even 4, and maybe even 8. But what's more impressive with Nvidia right now, and this is where I believe, as an AMD investor, this is where we should kind of stride, that eventually AMD gets to this level. For example, Microsoft and Nvidia, they have what they call the NVH100V5, which is one of the systems that actually made the top three supercomputers. But this one can deploy over thousands and thousands of GPUs, and this is meant for those big spenders that really are using things for very, very large language model in forms of training and inferencing, right? So right now we can see a huge change in system where, look, these virtual machines are virtual machines where you can only use up to 8 MI300 GPUs. And what we should strive for as AMD investors is, when we hear the news that, hey, a big cloud provider is developing these deployments of these virtual machines that can run thousands and thousands of GPUs. So obviously a big win for the MI300X, but I do believe this kind of allows us to understand that, look, there's still much market opportunities, but there's probably still much improvement in the technological side. Overall, very, very bullish on AMD on this. The second thing they did mention is Microsoft is also creating some other virtual machines. Those new virtual machines are actually going to be powered by AMD's 4th generation EPYC processor. So great news there. Outside of that, AMD is actually bringing a lot of their GPUs and some other CPUs to other virtual machines available in Microsoft. They do mention that AI for PC, and this is something we keep hearing about, where right now the market is changing to this PC space, and this is going to be the next shift in technology, where we're going to have AI running in locally on laptops. Well, AMD showcased their ongoing momentum of Ryzen AI, the first dedicated AI accelerator available on an x86 processor. They do mention that they already have over 50 systems available now with this Ryzen 7000 series processor with Ryzen AI built in. And this is very important, right? Because Intel is really fighting for this AI market as well. We do know that on December 10th, Intel is going to release their next CPU, their 14th generation mobile laptop CPU, and that's going to include an AI accelerator within there. And they do believe that is going to be a huge market opportunity for them. So it does seem like AMD, we've heard about this product in the past, but they are a bit of the in the lead compared to Intel right now. I do want to mention though, when we think of AI, it's also important to note that AI can actually be run in GPUs really well. So I do want to say a nice leader in this space right now is probably Nvidia, and anybody with GPUs like AMD, because we can kind of run a lot of those AI workloads in the GPU market, in our GPU kind of hardware. It is also important to note though, right, that not every laptop and not every user has a dedicated GPU on their system. So that's why we're seeing companies like Intel and AMD create AI accelerators that go into the processor. Because the moment you start to add kind of graphics cards, dedicated graphics cards into laptops, into desktops, then it becomes a pricier product. So one of the ways to kind of go cheaper but still have that AI accelerator is kind of pre-building them on your processor. The final thing I want to take a closer look at here is AMD is hosting an AI event on December 6th, 4 days before Intel is holding their release of a lot of products. I do believe we're going to hear a lot about AMD's kind of MI300, about their next generation products as well in the AI space, and other AI software solutions as well. So pretty good news, and I'm super excited. December 6th, you guys know we're going to do a great episode here. So make sure to hit the thumbs up, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Check out fool.com/Jose for a special offer. I do have a semiconductor membership program. Check that out as well. Just click join to learn more, and a lot of great links on the pinned description. So next, what I wanted to take a closer look, we just heard about the top 500 supercomputers. I actually also did a deep dive on that earlier this week, but we're going to take a closer look and more focused on AMD. So we do hear reports that the number of AMD-based supercomputers on the latest top 500 list grew 99% year over year to 140. I think that's pretty insane that 140 of the top 500 supercomputers are powered by AMD. AMD now also powers 8 of the 10 most energy efficient supercomputers in the world. And I do believe both these tracks or both these points are great marketing skills. One, because if you are 140 of the top 500 supercomputers are powered by you, then that showcases that you know how to create a product that has high performance. You also know how to create big systems as well. Now, the second thing of seeing the 10 most energy efficiency supercomputers in the world, right now we are in a market where electricity is expensive. Running these data centers and these big players are expensive in forms of electricity, cooling, and the list goes on and on. So if you prove that, hey, look, we can provide the most energy efficient supercomputers, that's another selling point for you. For those that are not familiar, what's one of the biggest wins for AMD is they still have the world's number one fastest supercomputer in the world for 4 lists in a row. This is not an AMD system. It's actually a supercomputer in a national laboratory here in the United States, but it is a fully powered AMD product with AMD CPUs and AMD GPUs. Now, there is an upcoming product, El Capitan, El Capitan, which has already started installation process, and this is actually gonna be what they say double the power of this number one already. And this is using AMD's MI300A APU system. For those that have been following the earnings call, this is where most of the data center revenue for the MI300 is coming in this fourth quarter as this company is shipping out there. Some other cool news, AMD did announce some Ryzen 7000's embedded series processors. For those that are not familiar, the embedded series processors are used for things like for automotive, for robotics, for automation, and in the industrial market. Next, I want to showcase that recently on November 13th, AMD announced a new Pro workstation graphics card. This is going to be the Pro W7700, which is expected to be below $1,000. And they do mention that this is the most powerful professional workstation graphics under $1,000. And for those that are not familiar, workstation graphics are usually good for things like content creation, for CAD solutions, and obviously nowadays for AI applications, because these graphics cards tend to come with a higher memory side, which obviously bodes well for a lot of AI. The final news came on Wednesday. We did see that AMD continues to improve the solutions of their consumer graphics cards and kind of help them bring more AI and machine learning workloads capabilities. And this is something we're seeing both AMD and Nvidia do, as kind of like I mentioned earlier. Graphics cards are probably the best place that you can run any type of AI workloads, and there's already a lot of graphics cards out there in the market in the gaming space. We from Nvidia to AMD, and now these two companies are optimizing them and creating kind of software solutions and software capabilities to improve their machine learning and AI workload status performance. So that's all I have for you guys today. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.